Hi, it's Trish here, and I am popping in here because I just finished editing and was going to Google to find some images to pop in and came across a YouTube video done by a one Lady Geneva, or is it Lady Geneva? Like from Princess Diaries. I think it is Genevia. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. And she makes so many great points. And the thing is, okay, so she talks about how Stardust is problematic. And she's so right. If I'm being completely honest, as I watched the movie, everything that she addresses are things that, you know, you sort of twinge on the inside at, but I am such a Disney kid that I've been brainwashed and programmed into just sort of overriding that and ignoring it. I was, in watching it, so enthralled in really the journey of it all that those were things I just wrote off because it is set as this fairy tale. It's got a narrator, and yeah, you just look past a lot. So I am going to link her video down below. I urge you to watch her video as well. She tackles so many parts of the movie that, yeah, really, it's all true. It's all true. And I still love the movie. But yeah, go watch her video as well. It's all true, and it's good. Very, very good. Yeah. Continue on for my video. Today I am going to be simping hard for the movie Stardust. Now, it's one of my favorite movies. It is such a great marriage between every single part that comes together to make a movie. Each production aspect is thought through and developed so fully and beautifully. I can't say enough good things about it. The visuals are stunning. The pacing is like, it's a 2-hour-long movie and does not feel like a 2-hour-long movie. There are multiple times where your heart is just beating so fast. Every scene, every character plays a part. It has humor, it has mystery, it has love, there's fighting, there's magic, there's intrigue. It's fantastic. Now, in this fictional world, we have the human world separated from the magical world by a literal stone wall. And the stone wall runs alongside a small village in England called Wall. And there is a section of the wall that's sort of caved in. You could easily jump across it. What sort of starts the ball rolling in this movie is that in the magical world, it's called Stormhold, and it is a kingdom, and the current king of Stormhold is lying on his deathbed, and he is surrounded by 4 of his remaining 7 sons and 1 daughter. And he's amazed to find that he still has 4 living sons because he himself had 12 brothers whom he killed before his own dad was even a little sick. Over here, one of those sons is actually pushed out the window by one of our main players, Septimus. That brother turns into a ghost, and this is how we find out that the brothers that had been killed still remain in ghost form and are stuck until the next successor is named. So we have Septimus, Primus, and Tertius still living, but the king is dying. So in order to solve this conundrum, he takes off his very opulent necklace that has this giant red ruby and turns the ruby into a diamond and says, "He of royal blood who finds the stone and turns it back into a ruby will be the next ruler of Stormhold," and sends it soaring out of the window. This necklace soars across the skies and collides with a star. And suddenly there's this bright light and it's just hurtling back towards Earth. And as it's falling, we see one of the main characters, Tristan, and he, little backstory, was raised by a single dad. He's just this simple village boy. There's nothing really remarkable about him, but he is in love with the village beauty. Her name is Victoria. He has convinced her to come on a little nighttime picnic that he set up. So he set up this picnic because he wanted to profess his love and wanted to ask her for her hand in marriage, but she rejects him. But he convinces her to still sit and finish the champagne. Well, as they're drinking, they see the star falling, and Victoria's marveling at its beauty, which gives Tristan this idea that if he crosses the wall and brings her back that star to prove his love for her, would she marry him? At first she thinks that he's being silly because nobody crosses the wall. They're not allowed. But he says that for her, he'd do anything. So she agrees and says, "I'll give you a week, and if you can bring me back the star, I'll marry you. And if not, I'll marry Humphrey," who's Tristan's childhood bully. Now, the star is still making its pathway towards Earth, and we see this really old, decrepit lady standing by this window in this dark castle. So she sees the star falling and she's very excited. And she calls her sisters, and we learn that they're witches and they want to capture the star because if they eat the heart of a star, they're given youth and beauty and power. They're granted eternal life. So Lamia is after the star, Tristan is after the star, and Septimus, Primus, and Tertius, though Tertius dies shortly after, is after the stone. The star is still making its path to Earth and collides with Earth and creates this giant crater, and it zooms in and we see that the star is this beautiful blonde white lady in a long satin dress. And this is Yvain, and she's played by Claire Danes, who sits up and sort of looks around, sees the necklace laying next to her and puts it on, and walks around very gingerly because she's injured her leg upon her landing. So we have all our players, and Tristan makes his way to the wall to cross it, and it's guarded by this old man, and he thinks easy peasy. But the old man is able to stop him. In the process, sort of hints that Tristan's father had once crossed the wall. So Tristan, not able to make it past the old man, goes back home and confronts his father on why did he cross the wall. And this is how he learns about his mother. His dad, in his youth, had crossed the wall. His dad in his youth is played by Ben Barnes. Anyway, crossed the wall and met his mother, and in the process of meeting his mother, had received this snowdrop flower, which was said to bring luck, and had a tryst with her. and this is how Tristan came to be and came to live with him. And he presents him with a letter that she'd left. And as Tristan unrolls it, there's this black candle in there, and he learns that it's a Babylon candle, and it's the fastest way to travel. And if he lights it and thinks about her, he'll kind of arrive at her. He does this, only problem being that he's hurtling through the air and crashes into Yvain, who he mistakes to be his mom and realizes that she's not, and realizes that what went wrong is that he thought about the star and Victoria at the last second. And so he's looking around for the star until he finds out that Yvain is the star. He is trying to convince her to come with him back to Wall so that he can present her to Victoria to prove his love. Which of course she's like, no. So the way he convinces her to come with him is that he will put her back in the sky and shows her the Babylon candle, at which she says that it's only got one use left. So they have to walk back to Wall. Now, as they are on their way, Lamia is trying to find her using runes. Septimus is trying to find the stone, and Primus is also trying to find the stone. Everyone is coming at them. Yvain manages to escape from Tristan via the help of a unicorn, and they leave, but they are walking into a trap set by Lamia. And Tristan, when he finds out that she's escaped, is disgruntled and falls asleep, only to hear her sisters in his dreams. They tell him about how no star is safe in Stormhold, and she's walking into danger right now, and he needs to go and protect her. He wakes up and the whispering is still going on in his head, and they tell him that a carriage is approaching and you have to get on it. And so he's running and he collides with the carriage, and it's Primus. And he convinces Primus to let him come with him. They also walk into the trap. The thing is, Lamia had set up this inn. She set up this whole scenario because she's trying to get the star not only for her heart, but if she makes the star happy, Yvain starts to glow. And if you cut out the heart at that moment, it's the most powerful. So she's set up this honey trap for Yvain, who does, walk in and does begin to glow because she gets this hot bath, and Lamia fixes her leg, and, she's just easing into a nice slumber, but all of a sudden there's a knock on the door because Primus has arrived, boasting to Yvain about how he's the prince, he's going to be king, and all this kind of stuff. And the ghosts are pointing out that this lady is wearing the necklace, and he's not realizing it. And in the last seconds, as he is realizing it, he's demanding that she come near him and give her the necklace. But then suddenly, Lamia comes and slits his throat with this gorgeous glass knife, by the way. And so now Yvain is scared, and Tristan comes hurtling into the inn right at this moment, sees what happened, grabs Yvain and stands before her, and Lamia is advancing upon them with this great knife, and she sends this green flame to surround them. So they're stuck over there, and he suddenly comes up with a plan, tells Yvain to grab on to him and to think of home, and he reaches in his pocket, pulls out the Babylon candle, and sticks his hand in the flames. And as he's doing this, Lamia notices what he's doing and starts charging at them. And at the split second where she has raised her knife and is plunging down, they disappear. And the knife just gloriously breaks across the brick wall. I mean, it is just... And her scream afterwards, ah! Anyway, so they narrowly escaped.